Story 1. I caught my husband cheating on me with his stepsister. I just need a place to let this out. Last week, I, 29F, caught my husband Jack, 30M, cheating on me with his stepsister Claire, 24F. I went out with a friend last Saturday and planned to stay at her house. Jack didn't want to be alone all night, so he said he'd just go hang out with his stepsister. They've always been close, and they ended up going to a bar. I was feeling unwell and just wanted my bed, so I decided to get an Uber and head home. I was not expecting to walk in on them having intercourse on the couch. I literally threw up on the floor by the front door. They told me they were drunk and it just kinda happened. I screamed at them both to leave. Jack refused to leave and refused to sleep on the couch, so I ended up leaving anyways and went back to my friends. I am still in shock that he actually slept with Claire. I think I'm gonna file for a divorce. I am so overwhelmed and uncomfortable. Has anyone else gone through this? Please message me if so. I feel very alone and confused. Also, do I tell their parents that's why we're gonna get a divorce? I've been isolating myself a lot because of this. Story 2. I got yelled at by another mom at the park today. I take my 2-year-old daughter to this park a lot, so she can socialize with other kids and get some outside time in. We were playing by ourselves and a mom came who had 6 or 7 children with her, including a newborn, so I could tell her hands were full. She had a little boy who appeared around 2-ish as well. He was playing with my daughter for a while and I was looking after him since she was busy with the baby and her other children. Well, they were on the tall parts of the play area. I'm 5 feet 3 inches and it's several feet taller than me. I saw his shoe slip by one of the openings and he started to fall off the top. I immediately went into mom mode and went to go catch him. I caught him and he was okay, but he was crying because he was scared. The mom started screaming at me to stop touching her child. I tried explaining what had happened, and she said she was going to call the police on me for touching him and my daughter for pushing him. My daughter did not push him. She wasn't even by him and she just finished cancer treatment. She's still weak from this and has her little bald head. You can visibly tell she is frail and she doesn't even have the capability to push someone with force right now. I tried explaining again, but she kept yelling, so I just said sorry and grabbed my daughter and walked back home. I'm afraid to go back to our favorite park now, ugh. Story 3. I think I regret having my baby and I want to off myself. My husband and I recently had a baby after struggling with infertility for several years. She's absolutely gorgeous and I love her more than anything in the world. I think I regret getting pregnant though. It's almost 4 a.m. and I've yet to fall asleep. She has colic and nothing I do can calm her. Meanwhile, my husband is in bed snoring away. He says he can't help me because he works with heavy machinery and needs to wake up early. I can't get help from my mom because she lives several hours away. I have no other family. My in-laws, despite living a few miles away, haven't even asked how I'm doing. I'm a terrible mother and I'm failing my baby. I'm starting to think I should leave her with my mom and end it all. My daughter would be better off without me. Story 4. My ML lost my dog and my partner hid it for hours before telling me. Removed. Story 5. A coworker asked me to be her sperm donor. The most bizarre thing happened to me yesterday. This is a throwaway account because this story has to do with a coworker. Several coworkers and I have Reddit account and often post on subs related to the industry we're in, and I don't want them to see this. Yesterday, a female coworker asked me to be her sperm donor. I'm friendly with this woman. I like her. I think she's genuinely a sweet person who takes her job seriously and is good at what she does. I don't think she always gets a fair shake at work or is taken seriously some of the time due to her appearance and some might say flirty behavior. I don't know if she's trying to be flirty or if she's just one of those super friendly people. There's nothing crazy about her appearance or anything. She's just objectively attractive. I've heard guys make inappropriate intercourseal jokes about her. There have been rumors about her hooking up with multiple male colleagues. There was even a rumor that she and I were having an affair at one point, which had no merit. I've never slept with this woman or done anything intercourseal with her. I find her attractive and admittedly sometimes I do have to force myself to maintain eye contact with her when she's talking to me. She wears revealing blouses sometimes. I'm a boob guy, so I'm just being honest here, but I'd never pursue anything like that with her. I've only ever acted respectful towards her. I've been divorced for about 2 years. I've dated some since then, but nothing serious that I want to commit to. I have kids with my ex-wife, so she told me she needed to meet to discuss something important with me. I'm a director and she's a manager, separate departments. I'm not her supervisor. My department handles some things for her department and I know she's been having trouble with somebody on my team. I assumed that's what she wanted to talk about. Instead, She took me out to lunch to give me this big speech about why she wants to be a single mom and why she wants me to be her sperm donor. I was literally speechless. It was obvious she's been thinking about it for a while. She's even consulted a lawyer about the logistics of ensuring that a sperm donor of her choice could be guaranteed to not be held legally responsible for the child. She tried to assure me that she wouldn't expect anything from me. She doesn't want any involvement from me, and we wouldn't have to tell anyone. We could even have actual intercourse if I wanted to do it that way, or we could be more formal about it, depending on my comfort level. I mean, it's bizarre and was very uncomfortable, but at the same time strangely flattering. I didn't say no right away. I haven't actually told her no at all. I mean, inside I was yelling no way, but why didn't I actually tell her that? Maybe I just wanted me ego stroked a bit more. Ick. Of course I asked her why me. She said I'm nice. She likes me. I don't treat her like a lot of the guys we work with. She thinks I'm normal, healthy as far as she's aware, and she likes my physical features. But she'd want a full health history on me and my family before moving forward. I asked her why she didn't go to a sperm bank. She said that's what she initially planned to do when she started seriously thinking about becoming a single mother. But once she started delving into it, she discovered that there are many ethical issues with sperm banks. She's been talking online with several women who have used known donors and has decided that's the way she needs to go. She thinks I'm a good fit because while we're friendly, we're not friends, we don't hang out with each other, we don't know each other outside of work. She feels she knows me well enough to determine she likes me and certain traits/characteristics, without having to worry about it being weird because I'm not a close friend or somebody that would be around her family or friend group at all. Plus, I'm divorced now, so there's no spouse or partner to have to deal with. She said she could always leave the company before anyone would possibly realize her kid looks like me if I'm worried about that. She feels she'd probably have to leave to avoid things being weird between us. She's been studying for some sort of certification in hopes of finding a more specialized job anyway. She claims, "We live in different cities, so our lives are totally separate outside of work." I felt like it was a prank or hidden camera thing. Truly one of the most bizarre and unexpected things to happen to me. But when I googled coworker asked me to be a sperm donor, I was surprised to find out this is far from an isolated incident. What's even more bizarre is after reading some of these other stories, I'm not 100% about saying no. I mean, I'm about 90% sure I'll say no. I felt bad telling her no on the spot and intended to let her believe that I was considering it over the weekend since I got the impression she had spent so much time thinking about it and rehearsing what she was going to say. But now I actually am finding a tiny part of myself considering it and I almost can't believe myself. Anyone ever been randomly asked to be a sperm donor before? If you actually said yes, why? Did it work out in the end or become a legal mess? And no, I'm not seeming actual legal advice from Reddit. Story 6. My abusive ex who tried to off me walked into my work today after a decade. The guy who tried to off me walked into my work today after a decade. It's been a decade since I left a highly abusive ex. I never thought I'd have to see him again until he walked into my work. I'm so angry that I had to leave my station because seeing him brought back everything he did to me. It started off as the usual pattern. He started becoming controlling, then the insults came, it escalated from there. He would scream how I was worthless. A stupid making love bee. Pathetic, no one would ever love me, the whole 9 yards. Then came the punching of walls beside me as I would be crying for him to stop screaming at me. I lost my virginity to him, which was a horrible experience. It really hurt when we started, and when I voiced that, he just said it's gonna hurt while going harder. My head kept hitting the couch and he didn't care nor stop. I would try every day to say the right things and behave a certain way in order to not make him angry. I often failed. One day we got into a fight because I had embarrassed him in front of his friend. They had came over my house where he immediately raided my fridge for alcohol and went to the TV to play games where he completely ignored me the whole time. I was clearly upset. That's how I embarrassed him, by being upset. We went into my room when we started to fight. He put his hands around my neck to choke me. I stepped closer, daring him to do it. I had snapped. He let go and started crying. I ended up comforting him. That was the usual pattern, me making him feel better about his actions. Then it escalated one night when I went to pick him up. I was upset because I had to drive 40 minutes to get him. He made me feel shitty that I was tired from work and wanted to hang out a different day. When I picked him up, he was quiet. As I told him my frustrations, when I was done talking, he had said nothing. I could feel the panic as he didn't say a word and was completely still. We were on the highway going 75 at this point. He slowly reached over, putting one hand on my shoulder and the other on the steering wheel. He started screaming right beside my face, telling me how I'm a stupid making love bee. That's the only thing I remember him saying. I just remember his cold spit hitting my face and the car starting to veer off the road where my survival instinct came in. He didn't care what was about to happen. He was ready for both of us to crash. I started screaming for him to let go of the wheel and started hitting him for him to let go. I had never put hands in anyone in my life nor have it since. He finally let go before we went completely off the road. Then he started punching the car, continuing his tirade. I kept driving, just frozen. That was Valentine's Day. There's so much more that happened in between and more that happened afterwards. The whole relationship left me traumatized for a long time. It took time to heal and work through it all. The hardest part was forgiving myself for staying so long. I have healed and put it behind me. Until today. I didn't even realize it was him until he did a motion when I asked if he needed help. I recognized it immediately, then I registered who he was. It all came rushing back and got fully triggered. I had to immediately step away and told my manager I needed someone to cover my post because someone was in the building that I couldn't be around. All the employees are all on radios. He asked me why and I just word vomited that it was because he tried to off me. Which now, I'm horrified I said it for everyone to hear because I'm a very private person. My manager came to me immediately and asked me who he was and what he was wearing so he could kick him out. I couldn't answer what he was even wearing at all. All that came to mind was his cold spit on my face. We started to walk to the room where the cameras are so I could point him out when I saw him walking our way. My manager and I got into the room for me to stay. When he was going to tell him to leave, he had beelined to the door because he knew what was about to happen. I'm so angry. I've long moved on and I've had a great loving life since that time in my life. I'm angry that he still had the ability to trigger me after all of these years. I'm angry my body reacted to him and my body went to a trauma response. I'm thankful that I work in a place where everyone is supportive, but the embarrassment is hard to swallow at the moment. Trauma is hard and complicated. Thank you for letting me share. Edit. Spelling. Story 7. Today my 24M boyfriend woke me, 21F, up at 4 a.m. to tell me he cheated on me. Removed. Story 8. My friend keeps sleeping with taken men, and I hope one day she gets cheated on. I don't know if I'm looking for validation, or even just other people's thoughts and opinions, but it feels relieving to write this. My friend of 6 years and roommate for 4.5 is very, very pretty. She draws lots of attention at our workplace, which has a high amount of staff and lots of people who come and go. She recently found confidence in her looks due to the attention, and I'm very happy for her in that regard. She also likes having intercourse, which I fully support as long as it's safe and I'm not home. What I don't support is that the majority of men she sleeps with are in relationships. There have been unique conditions, like one guy who was possibly an abusive relationship and another who was separated from his wife, not divorced, and another that may or may not have a girlfriend. Even so, she has had no problem flirting and sleeping with taken men. And it, to my core, disgusts me. Edit. Because people keep accusing me, I don't absolve these men of guilt. They're completely vile and far worse than my friend. But I'm not friends with them, and the post isn't about them. I have no control over her, of course. I can express my distaste and she brushes it off. But with the latest guy, who she promised she wouldn't do anything with, we just kissed and cuddled. I think I'm done. She has no sympathy for the other women in the relationship and claims almost zero responsibility for being the other woman. And yet, she's always claimed that she absolutely hates cheaters, which I now know means she hates the idea of a man cheating on her. I genuinely hope one day she finds someone she is able to connect with emotionally, and is so happy, and that he making love cheats on her. Maybe then she'll grow up. And I know it's terrible of me to feel this way about a friend, but after choosing intercourse with a guy over letting me go to sleep on my birthday, I think I can be justified, if only a little. Edit to clarify. She doesn't only sleep with taken dudes. Some have been totally single, and she had a boyfriend a while ago who was single when he asked her out. I believe her going for taken guys is more just that if she wants it, she gets it, along with issues of abandonment by her family. Could be more, but being with her as long as I have, I don't think it has to do with thrill or jealousy. That being said, I don't know if she would go for a guy I was dating. I doubt it, since she likes skinny and muscular guys, and I prefer husky with dad bods. I'm also not dating currently, and probably won't for a while. Edit number 2. I want to say that even though this part of my friend is gross and I disagree with it, she's not a terrible friend. She can be very supportive and has helped me through some hard moments. She treats her friends well, and we have a lot in common. We can talk for hours and have fun the whole time. I think she's very immature, however, and since we have an age gap, it's becoming more noticeable that we don't click like we used to. She has also made a bunch of friends close to her age who don't seem to mind this behavior, which could be a factor.